Hey everybody, my name is Nick Murphy.
I'm Mike Murphy.
I'm Steph Hodge.
Yeah, and we are the Three Amigos, which is what we call ourselves because we're cool like that.
Yeah.
We think of original names. And we are back for another BGG 10 versus 10, where we take a combined top 10 for us three and then compare it to BGG's top 10.
AKA the list of the people.
The list of you, the people. Yeah, so we basically find a mechanic or a theme or something that we want to talk about and then look at the top 10 games that are ranked on BGG with that mechanic. And then we make our own top 10 with that same mechanic and then we compare them. And so if you want to be involved in this, make sure to rate your games on BGG because that is the exact things we go off of is people and users' ratings. And so what are we talking about today, Mike?
Today we're going to be talking about deck builders, bag builders, pool builders, stuff where you get a bunch of things and hope to make better things happen.
Yeah, indeed.
It's a gambling, gambling.
It's a bit of a gamble.
You're hoping to have the good stuff happen, but you never know what's going to happen. It's all random.
So we're a big fan of this mechanic. Steph, you a big fan of the deck, the building mechanic?
Yes, so much. I mean, we all I feel like we all started with a little bit of Dominion, when we first enter. And it gets you pulled in. At least for me, it did. And I still love Dominion. I love all the expansions for Dominion. I mean, it's one that... it will just always have that spot on my shelf because it's not going away. It might not be in my top favorites, but it will be one that I will always want to play.
It's the first one, That's got to be cool. Like the first one to think of a mechanic that has so heavily impacted board gaming as a whole,
Yeah.
It paved the way for so many games.
Yeah.
It's just wild.
And deck building, I think, is an interesting mechanic because it can be the entire game. Like, that's the entire game. It's just deck building, something like Dominion. Or it could be something like a really small part of a game where, you have a little bit of deck building going on over here. And so it's a really interesting mechanic because of how...
widely it's used.
Yeah, and how... It's so much variety,
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. So, shall we get started, fam?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Three Amigos. We ready?
Ready.
We're ready.
Let's do it.
It's too hyped, I'm sorry. All right, so let's go ahead and start with BGG's number 10. So your number 10 BoardGameGeek's 10 best deck pool bag builder is Roll for the Galaxy. So this is a successor to Race for the Galaxy. And this is something that we've played before, and it's a nice little dice builder kind of thing. And I liked it quite a bit. It was one of those games where there's something with the look of it that just didn't grab me.
It's like dice and iconography and stuff.
Yeah, and so for years I was kind of like, I'm cool. Like I don't need. If it's in front of me and someone wants to teach me, I'll play it. But and you kind of were the one who kept wanting to play it.
I did. I wanted to see what all the hubbub was about. I wanted to roll the dice and put them in the thing and make the stuff happen.
Do one of those.
And finally, I just made myself read the book, and it wasn't that hard. Ultimately, it was.
You do have a lot of dice that you get to use, and that's a lot of fun. And you hear all the cups shaking in the other room. You're like, oh, they're playing Roll for the Galaxy.
Oh, okay. So I was rolling for the Galaxy, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. It is fun. It gets exciting. You get all these dice, and you feel like you're doing a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Steph, are you a fan of Roll for the Galaxy or Race for the Galaxy as well?
Well, so not so much Race for the Galaxy because I think it's a little bit more challenging, or at least when I learned it, maybe I was too new and it was just all backwards thinking for me and I couldn't wrap my mind around it.
Yeah.
But for Race, for Roll for the Galaxy, I was all in. I love it so much. And all the expansions also add, so there's a new expansion recently and it adds customizing your dice. So now you can start manipulating your own dice.
Ooh. I didn't hear about that one. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could get
it's
into
really
that.
cool. So you could there's different modes you can play in this expansion. And so one of the modes is you have your own die that you're upgrading its faces to. And it's really awesome.
That's cool. Yeah. So we finally played it. Like it. It was cool. So Roll for the Galaxy. Good choice. BGG.
Love it.
Yeah, you. Good job. Person who ranked it 10. Sorry, just going way too hostile right off the bat.
That's okay.
All right, let's go ahead and go to our number 10. Sorry.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 10 on our list is Pathfinder adventure card game Mummy's Mask, ranked 2055 on BGG's scale.
Wow. Get it together, BGG. Come on now. Come on, people. What are you doing?
I've talked about a little bit about it before.
Yeah.
And it's just, I only learned it this year, and I've been playing a whole lot of Pathfinder recently, just going through all the different games. And it's hard not to be in the top because I've been playing it so much. And I'm actively like, I want to be that fighter character in this game. I want to be that fighter character. I like to be a fighter. I could be like a rogue. I could be a sorcerer. I could be a wizard. I could be all these different things, but I just want to be the fighter. You know?
I just want to be up there and just like punching people. Yeah.
I want to have all the swords. I want to be able to have really good melee combat. Anyway, as you're going, you're building up your deck, and each adventure you might find a new sword, or you might find a new like something else, armor, and you get to build up your deck as it's a legacy game where you are making your character better and going on these different paths.
There you go. Path. Are you finding
You
paths?
are finding your path.
Oh, I love it when that happens.
Oh, that's
It's like a movie where they say the title of the movie in it.
Yeah.
They're like, this has been an Armageddon. And you're like, yes!
Yes. So it's been so much fun. And if I didn't put it up there with one of my favorites, I don't know what else would go there. Because it's just been nonstop on the table. Like,
And that's,
right
I think, is
there.
a good metric for how much you like a game. If you're playing it all the time, you probably like it a lot, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right, cool. I really want to play this one. So
It's definitely worth checking out.
yeah, indeed. All right, well, that's our number 10. Let's move on to BGG, huh?
Let's do it. Number 9.
All right, so BGG, your number 9 is Dominion Intrigue, and it is ranked 64 overall on BoardGameGeek. Dominion Intrigue. So this is like the Dominion slot, because, spoiler alert, normal Dominion isn't higher on the list. This is like the Dominion
Basically,
spot.
this is just the acknowledgement of all of Dominion. It's
Yeah.
the where you give the person their Oscar,
The
but it's really it's not
sphere.
for that role. It's more for like, hey, you've been in this business for a long time. Here's finally your recognition. This is for all of Dominion.
It's the honorary Oscar,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah, it's like... Dominion is as Steph talked about it a little bit, is the first deck builder out there. It's just straight deck building. That's all you're doing. But Steph, you love Dominion.
Yeah, for what it's worth, my favorite expansions are Dominion Empires, which is outstanding. Now, this is a more recent one, so a lot of people kind of, have 6, 7, 8, 9 expansions. They're like, well, do I really need another one? And they pass over like Dominion Empires. But I think that's the best, followed by Hinterlands. I love them both.
Nice.
So good.
Cool. Yeah.
It is cool to have a game that you can kind of give so many flavors to, depending on which kind of cards and expansions you use. I liked Dominion Prosperity because you just had like tons of money. That felt cool.
Yeah.
They do. It is
And that
cool
one
that they've
has
gotten so much.
the extra points that you can get, right? They have the extra like colony cards.
I can't remember what it is, but there's like a super valuable of the game
I
cards.
love that.
Yeah.
Just
I just put it all together. It's be fine.
That's right. It's like, and that's what one of these deck builders that have a billion expansions like this, like Marvel Legendary. It's like you can just start throwing.
Yeah.
You'll never play the same game twice.
Yeah.
Like
Never.
ever, and that's super cool. And I think for gamers, we're like, yes, it's a new game every time.
Every time.
It can be very exciting. So that is your number 9, Dominion Intrigue. Good choice, Dominion. It's just always a safe bet, Just a good stuff.
Always works.
Our number 9 is Xenoships, coming in at BGG ranked 949.
Ooh, top
now,
1,000.
Guys, tell me about this one, because I actually haven't played it yet. Now I have to go out and learn more about it.
We've played something you haven't.
Yes.
Oh
Joke's
my
on you,
goodness.
Steph.
How dare you?
Xenoships is cool. It's a game where basically you're just dealing with aliens, like bad bug.
It's like
crazy alien
the
things.
worst parts of Starship Troopers, when all the aliens are just swarming over everything.
Yeah, it's this game where it feels very, you're just dealing with kind of waves, like literally waves of the enemy and stuff, and you are trying to play out your cards, your people in kind of a line, and they're kind of moving ever toward each other, like the monsters are trying to kill each other. You either kill the monster,
these two destroy each other, so they
move on to the next one in the line, and so forth. And the cool thing that I think we really like about it is that it feels very truly cooperative. It's a cooperative game where they really encourage you to, like, I'm going to give you an item from my cards.
Yeah, you can just freely pass stuff.
Yeah. So it's and you're just trying to survive. It's brutal.
It's brutal. It's very hard. You have to go through 3 waves, and the waves, as I'm sure you can understand, get progressively more difficult.
Yeah.
And there's a big pool of stuff that you can buy from. One thing I like about it, and this isn't like unique to Xenoshift, but like it's a deck builder. Most deck builders, you buy a card, it goes to your discard pile, and then eventually it'll shuffle through.
Yeah.
But this is one where when you buy something, it goes this one goes directly into your hand.
Yeah.
So you can use it right away. Yeah. Or other ones where you can buy it and they go on top of your deck so you know they're coming through. Xenoships is, I think, a really overlooked deck builder and co-op game in general.
Yeah. So we dig it. We dig it a lot. It's good enough for our number 9 anyway.
Yeah.
Sounds really cool. I mean, I'm not really into the alien thing, but I do like a good co-op experience, and it sounds challenging, and that's always a positive if it's a really challenging co-op. So that sounds good.
We'll make them all puppies, and you have to cuddle them all.
I like it.
And and it's like, but there's so many puppies to cuddle. You know, honestly, I would play that game so hard.
That'd be awesome.
I would play that game so. It's just this wave of puppies coming at you. Someone designed it. I'm not good at designing stuff, but you'll make $1 billion.
Retheme it right now. Anyway, that's our number 9. Let's get into BGG's number 8.
Alrighty, so we have the ultra rare crossover on the same number, which is exciting. And that is Mombasa, which is number 8 for both of us, which is ranked 63 overall on BoardGameGeek. And Steph, the Mombasa, that's all you. So
it's all me.
Hit us with it.
So Mombasa is one of the, like, a collaboration of lots of mechanics. So deck building is one part of a bigger game. And so we kind of talked about that earlier. And in Mombasa, there's like a market that you can spend your cards to collect more cards, but you also might spend your resources to move up different tracks. Mm-hmm. So all while you might be getting more cards to your hand, you have to control these cards that you're using, because you don't immediately get them back at the end of the round, and they're going to be staying out there for several rounds until you get to take them back at some point later.
Okay.
So you have to really manage your cards very well, and you might want to use that really strong card, your number 3 wheat or cotton or whatever card you have, but then it'll be locked in there for so long.
Yeah,
so
that's interesting.
You have to really manage when you want to play those cotton cards. And because the more cotton cards you can play together, the bigger strength you'll have. So maybe you'll pick up another cotton card, so then you could have like a strength of 7 or something. So you want to try and manage all of that while playing and getting up these different tracks and getting other cool bonuses. And there's a board where it's kind of company shares, and everybody's communal to these company shares. So
yeah.
There's just a lot going on, and so the deck building portion of this is strategic and very, very well done. I've never seen anything like it, so it's really, really cool.
Yeah, and I always like the idea of you have more powerful stuff and less powerful stuff, but when you use it, you lose it. Oh gosh, do I want to get rid of it? Is it worth that? You know, and that kind of timing I always find to be very intriguing in games.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's our collective.
Way to go,
everyone's
BGG.
number 8.
We're here. We're going to become how many users are there on BGG? That's a lot of amigos, but a lot.
Many
That's
amigos.
awesome.
Many amigos.
Uncountable
We're
amigos.
Like this. Yes.
Like,
So let's go ahead, I guess, go back into BGG, into their number 7.
Yeah.
Alrighty, number 7 is dear to our hearts because it used to be Mike's number 1,
Once
and that
upon
is
a time.
Clank, a deck building adventure, which is ranked overall 59 on BG and is number 7 on the deck builder list. Mike, talk about Clank a little bit because you love it so much.
Okay, so this is a game where the reason I like it is you're using deck building as a way to manipulate and move around the board and stuff like that. It just gives you all of your actions, but this was one that we played kind of like earlier on.
Ish.
Like Dominion was the first.
Yeah.
Legendary was the thing that like really opened up deck building for us. But like Legendary, like Dominion is just with the cards. Yeah. There's a board, but it's just kind of to hold the cards, right?
So it's really just all cards. Don't need a board in that game. Yeah.
Clank was cool because now you have your hand of cards and you're doing it to move around a board and grab treasure and do all these things. You have to line up iconography to go across monster spaces and stuff. So like that was like this moment where I was like, whoa, like
this could be so much more, this mechanic.
Yeah, we can do this whole other thing. And I was like super pumped on it. So in that first year that we played it, it was my number 1 ranked game of all time because I think it was because of that opening up of the idea of like how you can apply deck builders. And now we found many more games that deck building is a piece of a greater whole.
Well, it took something you love and just blew it wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Now it's mixing a board game And the deck
And the
building.
card game. So, Steph, do you like Clank? Have you played it? Do you like Clank in space? Or you know?
I prefer Clank in space. So.
Okay, interesting. We're actually the complete opposite.
We're weird that way.
Yeah.
Well, so but that's great because if you own it and I own Clank in space, then we could like play whatever.
I like it.
But now I'm intrigued by the Clank Legacy, which just came out, and everybody's like, "Go play Clank Legacy." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I should."
I know.
I want to play it. I just want to see what you like. How does it work? What do you do?
Yeah, we've had a ton of our followers being like, "How have you not played it yet? You guys love Clank." We're like, "We haven't had time.
No
we don't have
time.
it."
I just really want to take it in. I want to have time to like really sink into it. Anyway, so that is Clank. That is Board Game Geek's number
Good choice.
7.
Good choice,
Great
BGG.
choice, people.
Y'all are
It's
crushing
fantastic.
this list, BG. You should be proud of yourself.
Be really proud of yourself. But let's get into our number 7.
Coming in at our number 7 is Lord of the Rings LCG, Living Card Game, right?
Yeah.
So I only just learned the Arkham Horror Living Card Game. I have no idea if it overlaps at all.
It does.
I really don't know much about this other than I love Lord of the Rings. And I know
Yes.
you guys love Lord of the Rings as well, so give me a little bit about it.
So we haven't played Arkham Horror, but from what we hear is like Arkham Horror took Lord of the Rings LCG and like changed it a little bit, made it more like story driven, cleaned up some of the mechanics, but
Streamlined it a bit,
It's
yeah.
very, very much based off of that. And now what Marvel Champions, is that what the next one's called?
Yeah.
That one is kind of
similar.
like again an evolution of the same.
Yeah, that one
thing.
felt very Lord of the Rings LCG.
Yeah. So yeah, so this is an interesting part of deck building that we kind of wanted to touch on, where it's like there's two kinds of deck building. There's like deck building in game, something like a Clank or all the other ones we talked
getting
about,
more
where
cards throughout
you're
the
building
game.
your deck throughout the game. And then there's what I usually refer to as deck construction, which is where at the beginning of the game, you're going through and choosing all the cards you want for that game.
Right.
You shuffle them, kind of like Magic, and then you
right.
you shuffle them up, and then you draw cards from that. But it's not like you're building your deck throughout the game. And so it's still deck building, but I always just refer to it as deck construction. But that's what this is. So you basically have some kind of scenario, and the scenario will be, you got to go fight this person.
Gollum's on the loose again.
Yeah, you got to go grab Gollum and stuff like that. And you got to go find him. And so there's like the shadow deck, like the Sauron's deck, and there's enemies coming out, different locations coming out, and then you're all working together, drawing cards and playing cards out, trying to defeat enemies and explore locations and essentially do whatever this particular quest wants you to do, which could be a whole bunch of different stuff. But it's very, very fun. It's very difficult. And then, you can do cool stuff where you can be like, let's make an all dwarf deck or an all ranger deck. And you can kind of make really cool thematic decks like that, which is really fun.
All while playing in the world of Middle Earth.
The best Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's really awesome. So I should definitely check that one out.
Yeah. I think
Give it a look.
Did you dig Arkham Horror at all? Arkham Horror, the card game?
Yeah, but again, the theme isn't as enticing as Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. So you'd probably have a little better experience with Lord of the Rings. My guess is at least.
Yeah. And there's similar.
Is there a bag where you pull tokens out of?
No. So that's from Arkham.
Okay, so that's the Arkham where I don't know if you roll dice in Lord of the Rings, but there's going to be checks that you make in Arkham Horror where you have to pull these tokens and they will mitigate the check. Usually not in your favor.
Yeah,
So
right. I'm sure.
You want to go in there with like a whole lot of extra strength.
Yeah.
Because then you pull out Cthulhu and you auto lose. So you're like, well.
Yeah. All right, cool. Awesome.
Cthulhu's here again.
Awesome. All right, so that's our number 7, which is Lord of the Rings, the living card game. It's just so much money, but it's so great. I love it. So let's go ahead and get into BG's number 6, eh?
Yeah.
So your number 6 is Food Chain Magnate, which has an overall ranking of 27,
Jeez.
which is we're getting up there. All these games have been in the top 100, so deck building I think is a very popular mechanic.
People like it.
So Food Chain Magnate is a game that personally, I don't know, I have so little interest in.
Really?
Yes.
I really want to play. It's
No,
like one
I
of my
none.
top want to try games.
It is for you. It's
Yeah.
so not. I mean,
I'll
I'll
make
play
burgers and things. I don't know.
I don't know. It's
It's
And
never.
this one is probably not for me either. Just because I've heard so many like horror stories of people learning and getting out in like round 1, but just having to sit there and take it.
That's no fun
I'm
at
just
all.
like, because there's there's a backward sort of learning where you like have to get into it before you can realize what's happened already.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
You're like, yeah. You're gonna have to bumble through that first game and probably lose pretty badly. But by the end, you're like, I see where I went astray.
I get it.
Okay, okay, got it. Cool.
So it's a 3-hour experience, and I'm not sure it's for me, so I've just kind of put it off. And I'll probably play it eventually.
I actually have a date with a buddy of mine. He's gonna teach me. We're gonna do a 2-player, which I hear is obviously gonna be a quicker experience.
Yeah, report back to us because you guys can play that.
I will do that. I will take the hit for all of us.
Yeah.
I'll come back and tell you, like, don't do that.
there is pizza slices, I think.
It's
so
true. I mean,
cool.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's one of those games. If you like it, I'll gladly try it. You know, it's
gonna
also,
do
I think it's super ugly, and it's $100 game, and I don't get why, and it's just I don't understand Splotter at all, and I don't know. It's just
that is a bummer. You're 100% right.
Everything about this game confuses me. It's fast food, but it's super heavy. I don't get anything about this game.
I want to know. Why is it might be as hard as actually running a McDonald's.
I'm excited for you to try because I want to know. I want to know what you.
I'm going to do the research for the Three Amigos. I will report back on my findings and let you know if I would recommend it or not.
Yeah, there you go.
Obviously, the people quite like it.
People love it.
Thousands of people can't be wrong. That's all I'm saying.
That's right.
They can't be wrong.
Yeah, this is true.
Just say. Anyway, that is our number 6 or BGG's. Excuse me. Let's get into our number 6.
Let's do it.
Number 6 is Aeon's End. I'm choosing Legacy, coming in at $4.19. Oh, I'm sorry, $4.16.
Come on now. Ooh, that's 3 important
so
spaces.
It's a little bit higher than the one I just said.
Thank God.
It's so good. It's so good, guys. And I know we've kind of talked about this in previous.
Aeon's End is great. It really is.
It's so good. So I'm saying Legacy, but it's really incorporating all of the Aeon's End worlds, much like Dominion. There's so much content.
Yeah.
It's all wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's a cooperative experience where you never shuffle your deck that you're building. And it's just, it's unique. And you never know the turn order each round. And there's just things that keep you on your feet.
Yeah.
And I like that.
It's very cool.
There's a lot of very interesting stuff. It's still the not shuffling still trips me out. It's kind of weird. Like, there's probably another example of it out there.
Yeah.
But I hadn't heard about it, so my buddy kept explaining. He said, like, no, okay, but when do you shuffle it? He's like, no, you don't. You just flip it over. And I'm like, well, how? And he's like, well, when the cards are there, you just take it. And it's just, and it didn't, like, I couldn't understand because I was like, that.
Yeah, and then 2 turns later, you're doing this, and he's like, no.
Yeah, he's like, no, you just take it. So in theory, you can sort of like set your deck. I mean, it's such a simple thing that in my mind, like, this is a whole new world now.
Which my deck building is cool because you can draft cards and put it on top of your deck. You can put it in your discard pile. You can have where you never shuffle your deck. You can have where you build your deck before it's like there's such little minutia in that mechanic, and that's I think why it's so popular.
Yeah. There's a lot to do. Aeon's End is, like you said, Steph, there's tons of content.
Can't wait
Aeon's End Legacy does seem to be like the peak of it. Like it's just everything kind of coming together.
I'm excited that you're excited because now you get to experience it, and I'm like, I wish I could experience it again.
Yeah, it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. Anyway, that is Aeon's End. That is our number 6. Let's get into Board Game Geek's number 5.
All right, your number 5 is number 26 overall, and that is Orléans. Orleans.
Orleans.
I'm sure the French would love that pronunciation.
Like, we're not talking about New Orleans. We're talking about Orleans in France. Although I'm sure French people are just like, oh, God, this is cringy.
You are so far off, it's crazy. It is Orleans.
Orleans is an outstanding game that we all are massive fans of.
Yes. You might see something about it coming up.
We may be not talking about it very much right now because we might be talking about it later. I don't know what's going on.
This one is a bag builder, so you have these little tokens that you're putting into a bag, and it's the same thing as a deck builder.
Ultimately, yeah.
You're purchasing and getting different types of workers and things in hopes that you pull out the right kind of things in the right order, and then you're assigning them to different action spaces that require these 2 specific workers or these 3 specific workers, and you can kind of get these wilds. And stuff like that. So you're trying to pull the bag to do action selection kind of
This
stuff.
bag building is slightly different than normal deck building in the sense where every single time, all the stuff goes back into your bag.
Yes.
Whereas something like Altiplano, which is kind of a spiritual successor of Orleans, whenever you use something, it would go to like a discard pile, and until you ran out of stuff, then it would go back in. So one thing about Orleans is like the same stuff can come up over and over and over and over again.
You might buy something and
you might never get your wild.
Never see it. Yeah, and so
it's kind of brutal.
yeah, which is very tough. I personally like that, but some people prefer the Altiplano way because it guarantees that you'll get whatever it is you bought. But again, Orleans, it's great. It's your number 5. We may or may not be talking about it a teeny bit more a little bit later.
To it.
But let's go again get into our number 5.
Yo.
Our number 5 is Quacks of Quedlinburg, coming in at BGG ranks 113. So it's already gone way up in the ranks.
That's
wow.
I think it's going to be top 100 for sure. I think it's going to hit it, yeah.
People be loving that Wolfgang Warsch, man.
Hey, Wolfgang Warsch, man.
Oh, he is.
He's crushing it.
You can't go wrong with his games.
I mean, a game that missed our list barely is Taverns of Tiefenthal, which is a deck builder, and it's...
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's more just a product of being so new, but it's got some kind of deck building stuff into it as well, so... Steph, do you like Quacks? Are you a fan of the press your luck kind of zaniness that is Quacks?
Of course. Who doesn't love push your luck? I always seem to fail at push your luck.
Oh, yeah, every time.
But I enjoy the challenge and be like, oh, I can get one more, no problem. And then boom, bust.
Yeah.
Nope.
There's a beauty in its simplicity.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of great things. And you guys obviously put this in your top 5. So what's your favorite thing?
How horrible it is. It's just like, it hurts so much. My favorite thing, it's like the worst, best part of this game is like you could be like round 7 or 8 in, you're drawing out these chips and you don't want white chips. White chips can make your cauldron explode. And it's like, at this point in the game, you have way more
much other stuff.
Colorful chips than white chips. And yet you will just draw white chips. And you're like, what are the odds? Like the odds are astronomically low
so
that
much
I would draw
stuff in here.
Only this. Yep. And there's something, I don't know what they do, but there must be some kind of tactile difference because your fingers touch the white ones and go, ooh, let's grab this one.
This is a good one.
Always, no matter what. I don't know what it is.
There's something to the simplicity, like there's depending on there's different versions of the different chips. Like the blue chips and stuff can have 1 of 4 different options depending on what game you're playing of what they do. But then once you get into the game, there's kind of like no real mitigation.
No.
It's just press your luck, and I don't know, for whatever reason, that's what makes it great, is that you are the creator of your own demise. Like, you can stop at any point, but you don't. And you blow up.
You don't.
You know? And like, I don't know, for whatever reason, I love that. I just love that.
And this is a game that goes over so well with basically everybody. I mean, it just goes over so well.
You do, like, you'll have one round where you're just hitting it and you're unstoppable and it feels so good.
Yeah, it's just great. It's just great. And a quick little BGG store plug.
Oh, yeah.
I said plug. Plug is a word. Plug is that they have the acrylic little Quacks bits in the BGG store, and they're very delicious. Oh, we should have plugged it for Orleans.
You guys, I was gonna say they also come with Orleans, which is awesome.
You can't go back. Right? Once you hear that click clacking in there, that click clack acrylic sound,
very satisfying to feel.
So good.
It's so good.
And the good thing about the Orleans bits is that they're actually in stock. The Quacks at Quedlinburg sell out so fast every time. But if you can, you definitely want to.
I think they're coming back.
Oh, they'll come back. They're selling like crazy.
We can look for that in January.
So check out the Board Game Geek store for those Orleans bits. Which I wouldn't play the game without them.
Quacks bags. Did you see those? Recently?
Yeah.
They're awesome.
They're awesome.
Them right there. They are really cool.
They're awesome. So enough plugging, but nonetheless, the
we're
bits.
Big fans.
Yeah, they're amazing. Quacks Quedlinburg, it's great. It's our number 5. It's great.
Let's go to Board Game Geek's number 4.
So Board Game Geek, your number 4 is 23 overall, and that is Mage Night.
Mage Night. Mage Night.
Mage Night. So this is a game that I want to try. Haven't tried yet. Steph, you've played it though, right?
Yeah, long
time ago.
Yeah, long ago.
It made the co-op list of Board Game Geek.
I remember really liking the deck building mechanic of this game. It's a very slow build because you get cards very slowly from what I remember. I mean, it's been years now.
Yeah, you kind of level up and stuff, and so it kind of feels like, I imagine kind of like how Pathfinder Mummy's Mask would feel, and I feel more intrigued by your pick because it seems to follow like Pathfinder is an RPG type thing. So if you have a card game, it takes a while, and you're going to go on this great journey, and you're building up, and you're getting these, like you said, these weapons and things along the way. I'm not interested in Mage Night. It's been around for a very long time. It's very highly ranked still, so there's clearly something there.
Yeah, people love it.
But I just haven't like given it a shot yet.
It's a time investment. I mean, it was a longer game, so you probably just won't jump into a game of it randomly.
Yeah, it's hard to casually just like, oh, you want a Mage Night right now? It's like, yeah, let's do it.
Night it up, yeah.
Yeah.
But that is your number 4, and people love it. I want to try it just once just to see why people love it so much, but we'll see if it's for us, but someday, if you want to teach it to us, let us know.
Come on down and teach us.
We're at a con together.
Amigos.
Teach it to us.
Come on.
I'm not going to learn it. But that's your number 4. Let's go ahead and get into our number 4.
Our number 4, coming in at 99 on BG ranks, is Star Realms.
Sneaking in there. Look at that.
Classic.
Classic. Oh my gosh, I just love Star Realms.
Yeah.
There's something magical and easy about Star Realms that just is addictive. Playing on the app is high. I've played 5,000 games on the app. I mean, I'm not no joke. Like, I love this game. I was in the BGG, the live plays with the forums where they play. Like, I was all in on Star Realms. Like, I love this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I play it on Steam as well. We don't have the physical Star Realms anymore. We have Hero Realms, which is basically the same thing, just with a fantasy theme on there.
Yeah.
But there's been so much stuff for Star Realms, so many expansions and things, and it's just beautiful, like how both that and Hero Realms like don't take their time.
No.
Like, you jump right into being like super awesome at stuff.
Yeah.
That's
you can
what's
buy
awesome.
powerful things right away.
That is what's awesome, is that you just have your hand of 10 cards at the beginning of the game, and you just start playing. And then the game is over in 15... Well, Hero Realms, it could go on forever, literally. That's my gripe with Hero Realms, because you can get so much life, and like 50 life one turn, like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's funny how with Hero Realms, I totally know what you mean. And it seems like people tend to fall into one camp or the other. I think probably on the minority that we like Hero Realms better. It's more, again, about that fantasy theme. But you can, if you get 2 people that get a bunch of like healing abilities, it can be really hard to kind of deal that final blow.
It can be.
You kind of got to be quick and get someone fast.
Yeah, it really comes down to, it's not so much anything mechanically, it's just theme. Like, that's why I think, like Steph, you said you like Clank in Space more. We like normal Clank, and really it's because normal Clank is based on like a fantasy theme.
Yeah.
And Clank
it's
in Space...
It's so funny because I prefer fantasy to space.
Which is interesting, yeah. So it's like... Because that's the only reason I really like Clank better than Clank in Space.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I like the modular boards in space.
I do like that.
Space, so it's like... It gives it a little bit more weight over the right. So it's funny how that works, because I prefer fantasy as well, generally. Have you guys actually heard of the... There's like an adventure deck for Hero Realms. Have you tried that? The campaign mode?
No, we haven't. We got it somewhat recently, and we need to try it. We just haven't had a chance yet.
Yeah, we have the character pack so that everyone starts with slightly, you're a wizard or a fighter, so you have a slightly different starting deck, which was already super cool. Yeah. And we just have to sit down and do the campaign, which I don't think would take long. I don't know what's honestly stopping us.
I've played through the first couple of scenarios of it, and I really liked it. Okay. You get to be your character, and it's very much like Pathfinder.
Oh, really?
So if you like it, you should definitely check out Pathfinder.
Now I'm very excited for it.
Okay, so it like almost directly relates to Pathfinder.
Wow,
like,
okay.
Almost exactly the same. It's like very, very similar with weight and what you're doing and different things that are happening. So if you like it.
Very cool.
I am intrigued.
Way more excited now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty.
So, that was our number 4.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Let's go to BG's number 3. Ooh, we're getting high now. Alrighty, your number 3 is ranked number 21 overall, and that is Arkham Horror, the living card game, which we talked about a decent amount already. And as we said, this is kind of the spiritual successor to Lord of the Rings, the living card game. So, Steph, you're the one who's played this. Give us a little tidbit about it.
Yeah, so from what I understand, I've only played the first scenario, but you have your character, and I just played with the base rules where it just tells you what cards to use, but I think there are variants where you can choose to pick the cards you want or draft the cards you want for your character.
Yeah.
And it's more of a deck construction that you mentioned earlier with the Lord of the Rings game. So you're kind of doing the same thing. Each scenario, you can gain experience points, victory points that you can use to upgrade your cards. So if I gain 7 victory points, I can use those 7 points for the next scenario and upgrade like 7 different cards 1 point each. Or I could do like 1 card 3 points worth. So like I can get like some like really cool cards early if I want to spend the points for it.
Okay.
So it's a in between games where you're going to be, deck constructing, building up these cool decks for your character. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it sounds cool. I think we're all just kind of the at least personally, the Lord of the Rings theme is much more interesting than the Cthulhu, Lovecraftian theme.
I happen to agree. I love the Lord of the Rings.
I think we're pretty much on the same page on that.
Yeah.
So, and so there's no Balrogs.
But there is a pretty cool theme. So, I mean, there is a story and,
Yeah. It's much more narrative.
Yeah, I mean, so, like, we burn the house down. Do you choose to burn the house down or not? Of course you're going to burn the house down. I don't know why that's good yet, because I haven't played scenario 2.
Come on. Insta choice. Yeah.
Burn the house down.
Oh, I love it. Well, yeah. That should be in every game, just no matter what it is. So that is BG's number 3. Let's go ahead and get into our number 3.
Our number 3 coming in at number 11 on BGG ranking, which we might be seeing in a little bit, is these guys' favorite, maybe, Great Western Trail.
We do love us some Great Western
It's
Trail.
so delicious.
Yeah.
It's a game where you're wrangling cattle, going to Kansas City, kind of working on a rondel, going from building to building, to hopefully ultimately get a hand of cards that has ideally all different types of cattle.
Yeah.
Because if you had 2 or 3 of the same type, you can only score 1 of those cards when going to Kansas City. So the whole thing is really about kind of going through and trying to manipulate those cards so you have the right hand at the right time.
Yeah.
When you hit Kansas City, you get the maximum amount of money and stuff like that, which is then going to go into getting more cattle, building buildings, moving a train down the line, stuff like that.
You want diverse cattle, and we kind of talked about this a couple of days ago, where it feels like, for some reason, it feels like the deck building is a very small part of this game, and it really isn't. It's like most of the game, because as Mike said, you need to have only unique cattle in your hand. So if you have duplicates, only one of them will count towards income coming in for shipping those cattle off to maybe Sacramento, which is where we're from. I get very excited because our hometown's on this board, and Sacramento never shows up in board games.
Right.
And so it's pretty exciting. Now, you're a big Pfister fan, Steph, so how are you feeling on Great Western Trail?
So this is probably my least favorite Pfister games.
Oh,
it kind of,
so
I know I'm probably wrong. It's just,
so wrong.
There's a lot to process in this game, and maybe I overthink things, and I come out of it with like a headache. So I've played it a few times, and
it can be a head thumper.
I don't know. Maybe I think I like the beginning where the rondel of the game is very quick, but then as the game goes on, people are building buildings. It takes a lot longer to move around, and it feels long, and it is long, and so.
That's true.
Maybe it just goes on a little bit too long for my liking.
Yeah, it's a very fair point. We mostly play this game at 2-player, and that's one of the main reasons, is because the game is just so much faster.
I bet. Yeah. I bet I would like it more with 2, actually. So that's a good point.
Yeah, 2, it's 2, what's hour and a half probably for us?
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
It's pretty quick. Still crunchy, though. It's really great. But 4, though, I'm like, nah, I'll play something else.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a super good one. We love it. It's a game that is kind of, we got lucky to start playing to begin with. It may show up.
Yeah,
it may show up again on the Board Game Geek side of things. So let's go ahead and get into Board Game Geek's number 2.
Board Game Geek, your number 2 is 18 overall, and that is Concordia. Game, very skinny box, very tall, best cover of the game. Everyone knows it.
Mediterranean.
It's very that stereotype of Euro games.
Classic.
This is that. Now, it's good, though. I like it. You recently played it.
Yeah, I really like it. It's elegant. I always think it's an elegant design.
It's elegante, indeed.
Yeah.
And then, Steph, how do you feel about Concordia?
Oh, gosh. I've played it a few times now, and I really do enjoy that card mechanic in this game where you are collecting these cards and adding them to your hand. You have all of your cards available to you, and as you go, you play one at a time, and eventually you'll be left with one card or this one card that will allow you to take all of your cards back. So whether you play it earlier or later, you might get get those cool cards back. And so it's all about timing, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's a tight game where it does come down to the timing and trying to build up. There's different kind of areas you can focus on, and it's probably better to focus on one or two and try to really maximize. It's an interesting game because you don't do any in-game scoring.
Yeah.
So you really have to try to like visualize how you're doing.
Like,
you can sort of like put it
I
together.
feel like I'm in 5th.
Like ideally you're paying attention to other players, but I'm like, when I was playing, I was like, I don't actually know if I've done anything useful or not. And it turns out I did. I think I got a close second, which for my first play I was very proud of. Yeah. But I was just like, I think this is good. I'm doing a bunch of Jupiter card. I don't know. Oh. And so it's a really cool, interesting game. Like you said, with those action cards and choosing how and when to kind of do things the most efficiently, which is I think is like what makes it so kind of classic Euro. Is that it's streamlined, it's smooth. It's a smooth. There's not a ridge. There's not a wrinkle in that game. Yeah, just for better or worse. So it's very classy. You know what I mean? Very smooth. That's how I was thinking of Concordia, which is BoardGameGeek's number 2.
Good choice.
So let's get into our number 2.
Our number 2, coming in at BGG ranks 419, is Baseball Highlights 2045.
Yes. Robot baseball.
Now, my understanding is that this is basically a 2-player game with robots and baseball. And I haven't played it, so I don't know, but I should because it is 2-player.
You should. And this is a game where I don't feel like you need to like baseball to enjoy the game. The game mechanically is very, very sound.
Yeah.
Enjoying baseball makes you enjoy it more for sure, because there's a lot of like little rules that make sense because that's how they work in baseball. Not so much that's how they should work like mechanically and stuff. Yeah. And we both love this game. It's really incredible. And Steph, I do think you should try it because I know you play a lot of 2-player games and you like deck building. And this is a game where you're playing through like little mini games of baseball. And the theme is that baseball got boring, people stopped watching it, so they brought in robots and gave people cyborg arms so they could start pitching like 150 and stuff. And it's this really, really legitimately interesting themed world that's got like a really great of like essentially kind of like war game, not war game, but like the game of war on top of it.
Yeah, so you're playing cards to react to whatever your opponents played and trying to cancel out any hits and things they're threatening while threatening your own offense and stuff. So you're trying to kind of manipulate your opponent into playing out the cards that their biggest cards that you can then, once the road's sort of clear, play your big card. And especially with the drafting and buying of new cards, they go on top of your deck so that you know that this card I just got is going to come out.
Yeah, if I just got some banger card, I'm like, oh no. When's he going to play it? Is he going to play it first? And so it's like this mind game you're playing where you're just like, oh, I'm going to play this first because then he's going to waste it. It just becomes... and the cool thing is, one thing that we always talk about with it is you have a deck of 15 cards, and whenever you buy a new free agent, a better version of a card, you have to send one of your cards down to the minors. You get it out of your hand. So your deck never gets any bigger. So throughout the game, you're just getting a better and better and better deck, but without that deck bloat. Yeah. Which is, because by the end of the game, what we'll usually do is play a series of 5, and then who wins that series of 5, they get home field advantage for the World Series, which is a series of 7. So by the end of that World Series, you don't have very many of your normal cards left. You just have huge cards.
Only your best players, as it would be with the World Series. Only the best make it.
And it's great. And Steph, I really do think you might enjoy it, and I think you should try it out.
It sounds like one I gotta play.
Gotta do it. It's gotta be on the list.
Yeah. It's our number 2 overall.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get a Board Game Geek's number 1 though.
Alrighty, so it's time for BG's number 1. You probably know what it is already because it is Great Western Trail, which is ranked 11 overall.
Right.
We love it. It's great. This is a game that I thought I was gonna hate.
Yeah.
I got kind of like, I was gonna say dragged into it. I didn't get dragged into it.
Convinced you to try it. You weren't necessarily super excited to try it.
Yes, because I just didn't really like the look of it. I really, really, really dislike the cover of it.
It's the worst cover in the game, but
it's the worst cover in the game.
It's not a great cover. No.
In all of board games. I've gone on like full rants about the cover before. I really dislike it. But nonetheless, I played it and I was instantly just like, whoa. Oh my gosh, I've got to show Mike, and I was so excited to show you, and then you really liked it, and it's just climbed and climbed and climbed for us. We won't go into it anymore because we already talked about it. Y'all chose great.
Going to Kansas City, that is Great Western Trail.
Yeah, it's
basically
just go to Kansas City, get some Char Bar barbecue sauce. So good, specific to Kansas City. All you Kansas City folk, drop Char Bar in the chat. You know how it goes. So good, so good. It's a good barbecue sauce. Sorry, sorry.
It's a good barbecue sauce and an even better game.
Yeah.
It's good enough for Board Game Geek's #1 overall.
Indeed.
But we got #1.
We got a #1
Let's
too.
talk about that.
Let's do it right now.
Coming in collectively at our #1 is BGG ranked 26. Now, we love Orleans, but we love Orleans Invasion.
The only way to play it. That's not true, but
Invasion.
it's great. Yes.
We love it.
It's so good.
I mean,
yeah, it's taking a great game and making it co-op. That's awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
What's so great about it is that, I can easily teach this to new players and help them along the way. Everybody has their own unique goals and there's all these spaces that you can utilize to help others and to help the team. So it really brings everybody together. And that's why Orleans, like, the co-op version is so much better, because in a competitive version, you're sitting there, like, not talking, very, just like angry, like, don't take my spot, like, oh my god, these things, don't take my guy, I need that. And so it's the experience is just so much better, at least for me.
Yeah, no, we agree. I like Orleans just normal, but if I have the choice, I'll always play Invasion.
Yeah. Work together to solve a very hard problem,
Yeah.
and the things that you have to overcome to win Invasion are very difficult.
Yeah, they are.
You really have to work together. You have to talk through those turns, and you're going to go over here, so that allows me to go over here and do this thing, and that's how you're going to succeed. So it feels like a very cooperative experience with a game that's kind of crunchy and tough with that bag building. And so, I think for all of us, it's regular Orleans fine. Obviously, it paved the way for Orleans Invasion, but Orleans Invasion, I will play almost every single time.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love it.
So,
I love it.
It's
And
so
all
good.
player counts too. I play with 2 and I play up to 5. Like, I play with any number of players, and it works the same. It's like so good, and it's difficult. So it's a perfect choice
real
for
hard.
us.
Yep. Yeah, we like difficult co-ops. That's our jam. That's what we love.
That is our top 10 versus 10.
Yeah.
Woo! And that was deck builder, pool builder, bag builder, all the builders that you've got.
Yeah.
We love
We
them.
have a lot of builders.
BGG loves them
They're
too.
great.
So
I know. Yeah, this was the lowest game. There's all the games in this list for BG were in the top 100, so it's obviously a pretty popular mechanic.
Yep, absolutely.
So down in the comments below, let us know what you thought of the list. Do you agree with BGG's list, where you're like, none of the games I chose were on this list? Do you agree with our list? Let us know down in the comments below. Make sure to hit subscribe because BG is putting out a ton of great content. And give this video a thumbs up and a share as well. A little bit of that, just a little bit of that. Not that I look like a grandmother, but don't do that. Down in the comments below, please let us know what top 10 list you want us to do next. And we are also wanting to do not just board game mechanics, but also like board game publishers, like top 10 Bruta Catala games or something like that. Like artists, different
whatever
kind
you
of
can
themes,
click
like,
in BGG, and we can make a list.
Yeah, basically. Anything
Take a look at all of the topics that you can kind of search on and stuff, and we'll do a list on it.
Yeah, exactly. So down in the comments, get creative down there. Talk about let us know what you want us to talk about.
Absolutely. And I guess that's all we got to do. So I've been Mike Murphy.
I'm Nick Murphy.
I'm Steph Hodge.
And we are out of here, folks. Bye.
Bye.
Three amigos.
Three amigos.
Done.